Thanks for joining me.
What's up, dude? Glad I found you here.
Oh, yeah.
Whew. What a trek, huh?
Yeah. Took you a little bit to get here.
It did. So yeah.
Hi.
Welcome to the great outdoors. I mean, Natty Talks.
We're Joe and Lisa. This is Natty Talks.
So we thought, people enjoyed our truck video of my
Debaucheries.
debaucherous dumbass decisions.
Yep.
Triple D.
Yep.
And since that video's done so well, we thought to ourselves, well, how else could we do a video that people would like?
Yeah.
And since many people,
I'm on the wrong side.
over the course of the time that we've had this podcast, we've talked about fuel mileage. And the last time I checked, gas isn't free.
No, it is not.
So I'm going to do a rundown of what I've done to my truck. I get 34.1 miles per gallon out of this thing. Not in this setup, but I have before. In this setup, I've gotten 28.7. So I'm going to do a walkthrough.
You want to tell them what you got in this?
I'm going to do a walkthrough of my truck. Now, that's a truck. And I mean, I use this as a truck. It's not like,
a truck.
I was going to go get it cleaned, but I thought, no, I want it to be dirty so they can see I actually use it, Out of this thing, I haven't been able to do much, but the one thing I have been able to do has nothing to do with the car itself. Over the course of time I've known her, I have been getting on her about her driving style.
Okay.
She didn't realize it, but what I was doing, I was teaching her throttle control. So she got
48.2.
48.2 out of her car. So that's two people doing this, which means that I am right. That you can't deny numbers. So
as well as the things that you've changed in this car.
I haven't changed anything in this car.
You've changed a couple of things.
The only thing I've done to this car is put a K&N air filter in it. That's it. And told you to change the frequency of your oil changes.
Yeah, as well as put stuff in the engine. Or in the gas.
Yeah, but we'll get to that.
Okay.
Because that's not changing the car itself. So yeah. But just to give a walkthrough, your car is a 2024 Chevrolet Malibu. 23. And my vehicle was a 2019 Tacoma. Toyota. Sorry, I'm used to talking to car people. So
you could have just said Malibu.
I'm used to talking to car people. I want to be exact. So this car has a 3-liter in it that's turbocharged.
I like to go fast.
But I will say one thing about this vehicle. One thing that GM did do right on this car is this vehicle is probably one of the most outstanding highway driving vehicles I've ever seen. Now, when it comes to power and having any kind of luck on beating a grandmother in a walker, no, absolutely not. But on the highway, it's not only a comfortable ride, you feel very planted, and the vehicle just cruises at like a perfect RPM for the turbocharger just to be kicking in just right, and the vehicle to get optimal performance. And it's fantastic.
Yeah.
But the problem is it's still a GM. This thing, I've said this about this truck, and I mean it. I've owned many vehicles in my life. And I drive a Tesla, but this is a different vehicle. The Tesla is probably the best vehicle I've ever owned. Hands down, money, whatever, the Tesla is the greatest vehicle I've ever had. But this is the greatest gasoline vehicle I've ever owned. Not because it's a truck, but because of how versatile this thing is. I mean, this thing is the most versatile vehicle I have ever owned in my entire life. Yes, I got 34.1 miles per gallon out of this thing one time, but that's not the impressive part. The impressive part is I used to work down on a horse farm, or like at a horse barn at a racing stable. So I would have hay and horse feed in the back of this thing, fencing, stuff like that. It didn't have the mud tires on it. I actually got the mud tires on it after I got them for it, and then yeah. So
you got them right after the snowstorm.
Yeah, right after the snowstorm. No, I got them before the snowstorm, but it was in the when I first bought this truck. I had a Denali. This is how much I like this truck. I had a Sierra Denali 1500, which is probably one of the nicest trucks I've ever owned. And I went and test drove this at nighttime. Don't ever buy a vehicle at nighttime. We're down here in the country, sorry. I test drove this at nighttime. They had just got it. Okay. So like it was dirty, whatever. So
I'll agree with you. Don't buy a car in the dark, because the car before this I bought was a dark color. Read the tag, thought I bought a great car. Freaked out the next morning, ran outside and was like, oh, it's gunmetal.
Yeah. Great. But I noticed that in the back seat, there used to be a car, like a baby seat. And I was like, oh, they had little kids, because on the side of my truck, it looked like some kid had walked down and just took a stick or something, or, just fucking all down my truck. So like I had just got these on, and that snowstorm hit, which I had to drive the Tesla in, which it performed very well for that car. But right when I needed it,
Lo and behold, life hits.
Life hits. But I would be down there working at a horse barn, be doing all of that, and then I would do that, turn around and drive an hour and a half, hour and 45 minutes to work.
Mm-hmm.
Then I would turn back around and drive in city traffic in Cincinnati. Mm-hmm. We all know how that is.
Don't get me started.
And this truck does not care. It doesn't care. This truck runs perfectly, no matter what situation you put it in. Doesn't matter.
Yeah.
And yes, it has its issues, but
what car doesn't?
What vehicle doesn't at this point? But its issues are nothing that I would be concerned with.
You want to hear my 2 cents?
What?
On your truck?
What?
So when I first found out that you had a truck, in my brain, my old female brain,
yeah,
I was like, oh, he's got a truck. It's probably like a Silverado F-150, something bigger.
Yeah.
Because I was like, most in my mind, I'm like, okay, if you have a truck, it's a big truck. I've got to jump to get in it at 5'2". So when I first saw this thing, I was like, that's not a truck. I was like, that's a small thing. I can just slide to get into that.
Yeah.
I was proven wrong. And this truck has showed me that this is a truck.
I like that you say that, because yes, my Denali was bigger. So I could fit more in the back. I could do whatever, But when it comes down to an overall truck, this is really all you need. Mm-hmm. I've towed boats with this thing. Didn't even tell the boat was back there. It just went. And I've off-roaded it. I've off-roaded this thing. This truck has driven me out of some bad situations multiple times.
And I am also wrong. At 5'2", I still have to jump up in that thing.
Oh yeah, no, you have to jump up in this higher than you did my Denali. My Denali didn't have it wasn't as high. It does have a lot of ground clearance.
Yeah.
And
we'll go over it.
Yeah, we'll go over it. But yeah, no, you can't put this thing down. Can't put it down. You want to start walking through it?
Yeah, let's do it.
All right, let's start walking through it. So let's go over the horse barn down here. Now, before I get started going over this whole damn thing, I don't care what you think. I don't care what you think. I know there's going to be a lot of car guys out there going to be like, this fucking guy doesn't know what he's talking about. And you know what? Maybe you're right. Maybe you're right. But what I do know is that you can't lie about numbers. And when I got 34.1 out of this, I tested it also by going to a gas station and filling it back up. And when I say filling it back up, I don't mean that when it clicks off. I mean that I do what you're not supposed to do, and I run the gas all the way up to the same spot on the nozzle, which means that it has the same amount of fuel in it. Don't do that because you can mess up your evaporative system within your gas tank. A gas tank isn't just a bucket. There's a lot of lines and things on there for your pressure and things like that for the gas itself, and just don't do it. But I do because I want to make sure I'm measuring at the right spot. And I clarified that my number was correct. I also verified it was correct within the truck. So it was spot on. So you can't deny me that I am doing something that works. With that said, here we go. So this is a 3.5 liter V6, I think. Don't really care. This motor, I know a lot of people complain about it, but this motor I think is outstanding, and I'll go over why, but this motor it runs so well. And that's being said that I've had a lot of motors in my time and worked with motors. So like this thing is pretty damn good. Like if you're driving a GM, especially a 6.2 liter, and you are just letting it drive, you can hear the valves ticking. That's not bad. What they do is they put a little bit of play in it so that when you're at low RPMs, it's just kind of dancing, doing its thing, being happy. But if you floor it, you can actually hear the valves get tighter in how they work. So like this thing, you can hear the valve train in it. You can hear all that, especially when you put 93 in it. And the engine you can just tell it's just very tightly engineered. And that's what makes this engine great. But what I've done, I've used an S&B air intake. This cone right here is taking fresh air from inside, coming in through the front end of the truck, down and around here, up into that air box. And it's also taking it out of the fender, which is where the stock air box goes. Now, the thing about, I'm not going to complain about stock air boxes, but the thing about stock air boxes is they are designed in order to make your engine run quieter because of government regulation. So I don't care about what you say about that. That's why on her car, I put just a K&N air filter in it. You can do that without doing this. You'll get a little bit more airflow, which is the point of this. So this thing brings in more airflow. And if you're looking at it as, I'm not trying to get horsepower to go down a quarter mile, and I'm not trying to four-wheel and all that other shit. If you're looking at it as, I want to get good gas mileage, there is no way you can deny this. That is taking more air in, and it's a direct line of colder air than your stock air box, which means that your air molecules in the colder air are more condensed. And since you're getting more air molecules, which is oxygen, which is the combustive part, if you take a balloon and blow it up with your mouth, and you take a balloon and put oxygen into it, which one do you think is going to be louder when it explodes? Definitely the oxygen balloon. So like, you're taking colder air, which has more air molecules in it, oxygen molecules, and it's taking it and putting it directly into the combustion chamber, which is going to increase your power, which is also increasing your efficiency. From there, I replaced the mass airflow sensor with a jet performance mass airflow sensor. The reason why isn't because I'm looking for power, isn't because I'm looking for some whatever. The way I would consider these for a bunch of old guys that used to drive carbureted cars is when your like 4-barrel would kick in. That's how I would like say that works. So what it's doing is giving a better reading of the air going into the engine. For the computer to adjust to. So it's a tighter, like, let's say that this is your wideband, it's making it like this and making it more streamlined. It might be a little bit, but still, it's making this whole system, instead of the stock one that's only used to so much, this one is made for this kind of setup. From there, I have an oil separator, and this is where I will say how this engine is spectacular. So this thing is taking the crankcase pressure, sending it back into this tank where it's filtered, and then putting it back in. And your stock, what it's doing is it's taking it from the manifold, it's drawing it from the manifold is what it's doing, but what it takes the crankcase pressure, which has oil in it, and puts it right back into the intake, which is going in your combustion chamber. Now, theoretically, it's not bad, but you have to admit, this is where I have issues with things. I don't think anybody would pour oil onto the ground and catch it on fire, so I don't know why you would run dirty oil back into your system, send it right out the tailpipe into the atmosphere. But, you know, what do I know? Anyways, so this thing separates the oil from the crankcase pressure and sends clean pressure back into your manifold. Since it's doing that, it's a cleaner burn. And if you put it onto it, you're still burning oil, which means that everything in there's dirty, which is what you were saying about putting stuff in the fuel. So the way I look at this is, since I'm taking out oil, that's still a lubricating, there's still a lubricative fluid going back into the engine. So I'm taking something away from the burn and the lubricity and the lubrication of the top end of the cylinder. I could be wrong about that. So the way I looked at it was, since I'm taking oil out, I need to get a new thing over here. This is not good. Since I'm taking the oil out of this, I put Lucas or Seafoam in it, like the oily kind, because that is putting a clean burning oily substance that lubricates the top end into your cylinder. Now, what I will say about this engine is that I had one of these on my Denali, and this is probably the longest I've gone without change. It's probably been over 10,000 miles, and I'm not even concerned. It's probably maybe up to here, maybe down to here. Like, it's barely full. If I had done that with my Denali, I would have had to have taken it off and dumped it out 3 times by then. So, like, that's how well engineered this engine is and how tight everything is. It never has issues with blow by. It's remarkable. And that's pretty much all I've done with the engine. But if we come out here, so this is sitting on the stock suspension. There's nothing changed in there. Nothing's changed at all. Those are 4Runner wheels, which they are Toyota stock wheels. So it's not going to change anything with how this vehicle is made because it's still Toyota parts. The wheels are Mickey Thompson. They're 285. Yeah, they're 285s. Because I don't want to like put stupidity on my vehicle. But yeah, no, this thing is outstanding. Like, one important note for anybody that owns a Tacoma, you need to make sure you keep up with your maintenance, because I had to change the spark plugs on this. Spark plugs are not made like they used to be. They're actually quite pieces of shit. Like, you would be surprised at how short the lifespan is. So change those. I changed the fluids in these, like the rear diff and the front diff. I've changed out the transmission. Make sure you keep up with your maintenance on any vehicle. But for real, like, I mean, you can't get wrong with this truck. I mean, the bed's not that big, but it has what you need. It has a power source back there. It has a box for you to keep your stuff in. There's a light on top of the cab for it, but I mean, you know, and plus, if you put lights in a vehicle, the problem with it is that that's another thing to break. So This doesn't have lights in the bed. It also has a plastic bed on it, which makes it light, but kind of sucks for, like, you know, if you're putting some heavy stuff back there. But that's okay. But yeah, I mean, you can't beat it. Can't beat it. It has backup cameras. You know, it does its thing. It's just a nice overall truck. I mean, you can't put it down. I mean, look at it. It takes bird shit like a champ.
Okay.
But I mean, it does. But yeah, that's a rundown of my taco over here. Quite proud of it.
You have a taco?
Yeah.
Good to know.
Oh my God. All right, and with that,
Now you talk Spice Group.
oh God. I wonder what George Trey's doing today. Probably living well. So I was thinking about it, and I forgot to say something. Also, we've already gone through this, but we forgot to turn on the microphones because we're really good at doing this. So we were watching the tape, and I was like, hey, I was teaching Lisa throttle control. And that is the most important aspect of all of this whole gas mileage thing. Because, yeah, you can put in a new thing that's going to be taking more air in. You can put a thing on there that's going to have a better reading. You can put a thing on there that's going to make your combustion better. You can do all these things. And yeah, you're going to make more power and all that stuff like that. But the thing about it is that when you're flooring it, when you're doing all that stuff, you're not controlling your throttle input. You're just burning more gas. And, you know, we had talked about the stock airbox on these things, which is on any vehicle. And I said that it's designed so your engine runs quieter. The thing about the airbox is the cold air intake that's on this thing. That you can hear the engine and how much it's running, like how loud it is, which means it's burning more gas. So that's taking fresh cold air in, just like the stock airbox would, but the stock airbox does not take it from the front of the vehicle, and that is shielding any kind of heat that's coming off of the engine. The thing I like about S&B is that it's set up that way. I have used K&N before, but the thing about K&Ns, you typically don't find one with a box, and it's just really loud, and I just don't like it. So these things are, I mean, the way that they make all these plastic components on this, it's well engineered. I've talked to that company many times. I've talked to the company that did the oil separator. I think it's JNB, but I think they changed their name. And I've talked to Jet Performance. They're all good companies. They all know what they're doing. And I don't know why the big three, Toyota, any of them, I don't know why they don't put this setup on a vehicle anyways. Or not put this setup. I don't know why they don't sell this like in a box or something. Like, I don't know why they just don't have this provided for people. But, and all these companies all have to, you know, fit under regulation. So they should just sell it boxed. They should really do that. But the thing about throttle control is that is how you get good gas mileage. Like, you can't floor it all the time and expect to get good gas mileage or whatever. And if you look at the horsepower equation, I think typically when you do that, you come out to like 12 to 19, whatever, depending on the vehicle, how much horsepower you need to keep it going down the road at speed. Now I'm sifting through a lot of malted hops and some natural plants, and many, many years ago, back to my college days when I remember doing that equation. But either way, when you do it, you don't need that much horsepower to keep a vehicle going at a certain speed. So if you can hear the engine and you're controlling the throttle, you can just give it enough, which means you're not burning gas. Because this isn't like a carbureted engine where you're just dumping fuel down into a manifold. This is direct injection, so you're just spitting enough gas to keep it going.
And with you putting the filters in my car, I can hear my engine whistle now.
Yeah, so you can hear it, which means that your throttle control is better and you're not using so much gas, right? Speechless.
Is that the first time you made a woman speechless?
Of course not. What are you talking about? Many. I mean, yes, that's the first time. But yeah, you know, and I run Lucas and Seafoam, which is fuel stabilizer and fuel treatment. It cleans out the inside of your engine. I also run Seafoam and Berryman's, the Italian tune-up. I was dumping that down in the car. Well, Larry was dumping it down in the car, and I was like, "Yeah," and he was like, "Holy shit!" And then it ran out of it, and I was like, "Oh." So yeah, you know, that's because that engine. We'll get it going. Don't worry. We'll see that truck again. But yeah, yeah, and I mean, you know, if you're in the market for a new vehicle, I'm just gonna be honest with you. This is a Toyota, and I don't understand. I tell people all the time, I'm like, dude, just stay away from American vehicles because they're not great. They're not very good. Their engineering sucks, and if you knew what was going on in the automotive world, you wouldn't even think twice. But hey, you know, you can do what you want. You can stick to your American-made pieces of American-made vehicles, because new vehicles today are just hunks of junk, and I mean they're just terrible. And I just never understand why anybody wouldn't buy a Toyota. I mean, they're made here in America. You know, hardworking Americans making a vehicle and stuff. And I mean, they're efficient. They don't, you know, they're a great vehicle. They don't really, you know, they don't really have problems, unlike, you know, American made vehicles. But yeah, so I don't understand, you know. But yeah, this is a Toyota. Can't really beat it. But I mean, if you want to like get something that's like no gas required, it only costs you like $20, maybe, to charge. I mean, you might just want to think about, you know, just getting a Tesla. I mean, I don't understand. I don't understand why people don't like them. I mean, what's there not to like? Have I not made enough videos for you all to understand? It's just fun. It's great for the environment. Honestly, the best overall vehicle I've ever had. I don't get it. I don't know. I mean, you know, I guess some people just aren't open-minded. That's okay. It is what it is. You know, just want to walk out here into the sunny yonder.